For the moment, just put your hands together and join me in welcoming two people from whom we saw an absolutely fantastic performance just a little earlier. Reteish, Deshmukh and Jacqueline. Thank you both so much for being with us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi. Before I take you to the chair, Reteish, I know you're an architect.
Yes, I am.
So I'm going to pick your brains.
Right.
You'll see that on the set that we've done, we have actually used a lot of green techniques. Those are recycled tubes.
Okay, that I didn't realize those are tubes.
Those are tubes.
Yes,
Those are old tube lights which
wow.
are fused and which we got from somewhere.
Wow.
These are old CDs that we got from a kabadi wala.
Wow.
That light only comes on when he cycles, so you know he has to work very hard.
He's great legs by the end of it.
Yeah, that's recycled paper, of course. And when you come here, you see we've used these crushed aluminium cans and those water bottles as design elements, and even that's made from discarded and old wood.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
what can we do next year? I'm sure we can do a lot more. So you're going to join us and tell us all about it.
Come.
Please come.
You know, the funny thing about architecture is that you can use a lot of stuff and anything. Probably use tires or keyboards. You know, it just depends upon paper rolls. Yeah,
Yeah, that's recycle magazines.
So it's fantastic. I think you can, if you put a head to it, you can reuse everything that's produced.
Yeah.
But are builders starting to do a lot of this? Are they starting to use greener techniques when they're building? If you have to design a house or design a building, do you think green when you're doing it?
Designing buildings, as an architect, it's primarily a client-driven stuff, you know, and designing green buildings, it's expensive. You know, you spend a lot of money because you're designing specially for rainwater harvesting, or probably solar panels, or probably you're going to devise a system where you can, recycle your waste. Probably things that you can recycle, wet waste or dry waste. You know, all these things really cost money. I think if government gives initiative towards these buildings and probably give extra FSI or certain kind of subsidy, I'm sure a lot of people will go for it.
It's really actually quite amazing the efforts that people are taking now, because I've just moved into a new apartment, and the light bulbs that my landlady is using are all energy conserving light bulbs. And I was, I was really impressed by that. You know, so I think people little by little are becoming more aware and are slowly taking the initiative to save our environment.
You said people would. It costs a bit more to have a green building, although there is energy saving in the long term. So in the long term, people might actually benefit from it. Do you think people are ready to pay that extra to be green or not yet?
I think they are. See, for example, if I'm a builder, if I'm going to construct a building, I think if I get an extra FSI, then as a builder, you can make a green building so that the consumer is not charged with that extra burden of paying more for it. For the same price, he can get a greener apartment or an office or whatever space that he requires. And the fact that the builder can probably take his extra cost from getting a bit of more extra FSI, whatever kind of subsidy that a government can give. So I think it's in the hands of the government or the BMC or whatever the municipal corporation that we have to probably propagate.
And the government doesn't do it. Will architects take that first step, or you think it's unlikely?
You know, architects are just going to design stuff. You know, we can design things, but you know, we're not the ones who are paying for it. So the builders or the clients will be paying for it.
Jacqueline, do you think people are going to start paying a little bit more just to make sure that they are green, or not yet?
I actually think so. I mean,
if I'm a client, I would pay for it for the future. You know, we need to take charge, pay that extra buck, and go for a green building.
I think so too. I think people are actually. They are becoming a little bit more aware. And, I think they are taking the initiative for their children, for the future generation. So I see that change happening.
I just want to ask you, something about Sri Lanka. I know you're involved with a project out there, which is somewhat similar to what we're doing out here, where we are taking solar lanterns to villages. That takes solar stoves to villages. How does that work?
Actually, it's Habitat for Humanity that build homes for people. And in Sri Lanka, they are introducing the solar stoves for each house that they build. So it's a great energy conserving piece of equipment, and people are really enjoying it. The families are using it, and it's proving to be a really big success.
Tuba.com